Angelina Jolie is one of the biggest stars in the world. Her films have generated more than $1 billion worldwide, and pretty much everyone knows who she is. She's a global superstar, which brings me to tonight's number one. Angelina Jolie was Google's #1 trending topic today, and she's been one of the worldwide trends on Twitter. The reason why is our second story out front. Angelina Jolie's big news. The Academy Award winner and mother of 6 broke the news of her double mastectomy in an op-ed piece in the New York Times today, which I woke up 4:30 in the morning, and it was one of the first things I saw. She writes, quote, "I carry a faulty gene, BRCA1, which sharply increases my risk of developing breast and ovarian cancer. Once I knew that this was my reality, I decided to be proactive and to minimize the risk as much as I could." Out front tonight, Nancy Brinker, breast cancer survivor and CEO of Susan G. Komen for the Cure, Dr. Lisa Masterson, host of The Doctors, and Anna Gorman, an LA Times writer who made the same difficult choice as Jolie. So, Anna, let me start with you. You have a long family history of cancer. I know you shared your father's BRCA1 gene mutation, and you elected to have your uterus, ovaries, and a double mastectomy all done in the name of prevention. That must have been an unbearably difficult choice.
It was indeed a really hard choice to make. Those are what defines us as women in many ways, our breasts and our ovaries. But for me, it was absolutely the right choice to make. My risks of getting cancer were up to 87% chance of getting breast cancer and up to 60% chance of getting ovarian cancer. And I just didn't want to live with that fear or that burden hanging over my shoulders. So I made those choices to have the surgeries, and I've never turned back. And I have 2 young girls, and I'm able to tell them that Mommy's going to be around for a very long time.
Which is, I know, something that Ms. Jolie also was talking about, and her mother died very young of this. Now, Dr. Lisa, though, when you read Angelina Jolie's op-ed, it says, look, you know, more people should get tested for this, and more insurance companies should pay for it. She said it costs up to $3,000 to get a test for this gene. But then, you know, if you're in a situation like Anna or Angelina and your chances are 87%, your choice might be, I don't want to use the word simple because this is not simple no matter how you look at it, but it might be more clear. But what about for a woman who gets the chance back and it's 30% or 40%? All of a sudden, it's a lot more difficult.
Well, we all have risk factors, and some of us have higher risk factors than others, especially if you have like a first-degree relative or if you've had abnormal biopsies. But it's an individual choice for women. The whole idea is to identify who is at risk so they can decide if they want to be monitored more frequently with more breast exams, more mammograms, get digital mammograms and MRIs, or if they want to do chemo prevention like tamoxifen. So there are options for women, and the key factor is you don't want to do something out of fear. You want to do something that's going to help you for the rest of your life. And if that's to have a prophylactic double mastectomy, then that's great. That takes a lot of courage. You should also have your ovaries removed as well because of the estrogen potential. And that, you know, the choice is different for every woman. So it really is important that women discuss these factors with their doctor and then choose what's right for them. Like my mother died of breast cancer, and it was very hard to watch her. But I'm an individual who probably would not choose a double mastectomy for prophylaxis. So it is every woman's individual choice, and we have to respect that.
And Nancy, you're a breast cancer survivor.
Right.
You had a double mastectomy.
Right.
You've been through this.
Right.
And you counsel so many women around the country. What is the impact of Angelina's announcement? I mean, certainly you're going to have a whole lot more people that want this test. There's good, but is there also some bad?
Well, the bad is that there are so many choices to make. The good part is that she was so brave to speak out the way she did, and also to destigmatize the speaking out itself, to destigmatize the issues. People really need to know that these are complex issues and they're individual decisions, and thank heavens she had and I had and the doctor had the very best care. But for women who don't have that care, she also talked about that. I thought it was a beautifully written op-ed piece and really underscored the choices sometimes one has to make.
Dr. Lisa, is this a test that every woman should get? I mean, there's going to be more and more availability. If you're a man watching, you're going to be able to get tests for prostate cancer and all these things early on in your life as technology gets better and better. But when it comes back with an odds of this versus that, it can create an incredible amount of stress in your life and a very difficult decision on what to do. I mean, it doesn't seem as clear-cut and simple to me when I think about it.
No, it absolutely is not. And the key, again, is to identify who is at risk. And ACOG has put out guidelines for us as physicians to determine who's a risk factor, who's at a 20% increased risk factor, and then offer this genetic testing to them. And again, women who decide to have the testing, they have to determine what steps are they going to take after that as far as prevention. Is it going to be heightened surveillance? Is it going to be a prophylactic double mastectomy? Is it going to be chemo prevention? Is it going to be scanning more often? Before they actually take the test to know the indications. And remember, if you don't test positive for a BRCA gene, that does not mean you're still not at risk for
Yeah, there could be
developing breast cancer.
that false sense of security,
Yeah,
right?
that's
That you
right.
could get. Now, will insurance pay for this?
Well, it pays for it in some cases, so that's why the test is a varying amount of money. But remember, all of the people in America who are not yet covered by the Affordable Health Care Act, fortunately, hopefully that will take care of many people, but we don't really know that for sure. And this is a test that ought to be widely available and accessible to people, no matter what they have or where they live. A woman's life shouldn't be determined by that. So we really, really want to make sure that this test becomes more accessible to people. And all of the decisions that we're talking about are those that people fortunate enough to have great care can make.
All right. Well, thanks very much to all three of you. We appreciate it. It's a crucial topic for all those watching, children with mothers, and fathers and husbands, men too.